Well, they say the only permanent thing is change, and the UN Environmental Assembly has since changed its name from UNEP to UNEA. So what's in a name? And Rita Tinina will be answering that. Rita comes to us live from Gigiri, where there is the all-important Environmental Assembly. Rita, what is this all about?
Well, Bonnie, first of all, the opening session of the United Nations Environment Assembly just about come to a close here at the UNEP headquarters in Gigiri. But as you mentioned there, UNEA, the United Nations Environment Assembly, quite significant. This is an assembly that was created following recommendations by world leaders when they attended the Rio Plus 20 meeting in Brazil in 2012. And last year, the United Nations then adopted a resolution changing the name perhaps from the Governing Council to UNEA. And the major difference here is that under the Governing Council of UNEP, there are only 58 member countries who would then sit and make decisions on the environment. Right now, all member states of the United Nations, around 193. In fact, all of them are represented at this meeting, sitting down to discuss matters of the environment. And so the environment now getting a slot on the international agenda. Earlier on this morning, several speakers addressed participants here. Hakim Steiner, the Executive Director of UNEP, the Director General of the United Nations Office in Nairobi, the Cabinet Secretary for Environment from Kenya, Professor Jody Wahungu, also spoke, as well as the President who was elected today, the Assembly's President, who is Mongolia's Minister for Environment. They all gave their speeches during the opening session. And the overriding message, or the issues that came out during those speeches, the challenges, environmental challenges facing various countries across the globe, as well as the loaded agenda for the United Nations Environment Assembly. Various issues are for discussion up until Friday. The issue of the environment, rule of law, Sustainable Development Goals. Many countries as of now looking back and assessing how far they managed to achieve the Millennium Development Goals, and in the coming years attention will now be shifting to the Sustainable Development Goals post the year 2015. Also, another issue that will be up for discussion during the Assembly is the issue of the illegal trade in wildlife. Kenya as a country, this is an issue that is all too familiar with cases of poaching. The government, of course, insisting that poaching has not reached crisis levels. Environmentalists, however, calling for the government to declare poaching a national disaster. This is a meeting, UNEA, now with all the membership of the United Nations member states, that is expected to take crucial decisions and thereafter perhaps advise governments on what to do. Over 1,000 participants are gathered here, and so in the coming days, a really important gathering here in Nairobi. And this morning, from the Executive Director of UNEP, Hakim Steiner, this meeting being hosted by Nairobi, by Kenya at a time when there are various security concerns in the country. Various European countries have advised their citizens against traveling to Kenya. And so Nairobi hosting this meeting at such a time, perhaps a statement, a symbol by the government, Hakim Steiner saying that UNEP has no intentions of moving despite all the security concerns that there are. Bonnie.
All right, many thanks, Rita, for that very elaborate report regarding what is happening and the change of name from UNEP and UNEA, and I guess increased mandate of that body regarding matters environment. Many thanks, Rita Tinina, for speaking to News Desk.